In this story, we will hear about a group of friends struggling in an alpine forest and their fight for survival. If this were to happen to you, how would you survive? Please comment in the comment section below. Now, let's begin the story. The darkness enveloped the forest, and four friends sat close to the crackling fire. Their hike through the desolate woods had been filled with excitement and adventure, but now, in the middle of the night, the atmosphere was heavy and tense. The campfire illuminated their faces as they gathered around to warm themselves in the cool air. The forest here seemed different in some way. It was a place that felt haunted by something unexplainable. Sara broke the silence and whispered, "I've heard stories about this forest, tales of Bigfoot and ghosts that haunt this place." The others nervously laughed at her statement, but there was no denying that the atmosphere in the forest was unsettling. Sara brought up the subject again. Did you know that there are actually many eyewitness accounts of Bigfoot? People have reported seeing a large creature resembling a giant ape with dark, long hair. Jack, the most adventurous of the group, shrugged. "Well, I've always thought it's just old ghost stories with no basis in reality." In the midst of their conversation, their laughter was shattered by a deep, terrifying roar echoing through the forest. It was the sound of something large and menacing. They stared at each other with wide eyes. Lisa, one of the girls, whispered, "That was something really big." Suddenly, heavy footsteps approached. The sound was unmistakable, as if something enormous was getting closer in the darkness. Panic spread through the group as they realized they were not alone. They quickly got up and began packing their belongings. But before they could escape, something they had never expected appeared. Emerging from the shadows was a gigantic creature, over 7 feet tall, covered in thick, dark fur. Its eyes glowed like 2 fireballs. Their hearts pounded like drums, and they could barely breathe from fear. It was Bigfoot, alive and real. An otherworldly chill ran through the group as the creature approached. When Bigfoot was only a few meters away, Jack rushed forward in an attempt to protect his friends. He shouted loudly and waved the fire from the campfire to scare the creature away. Bigfoot retreated from the terrifying light and vanished into the forest. But the fear remained within them, and they immediately decided to break camp and leave. They hiked through the night, their hearts still filled with terror, promising themselves never to set foot in the dark forest again. The friends continued their hike through the night, their thoughts filled with fear and uncertainty. They had left their previous camp behind, but the forest still felt menacing. In the darkness, they shared some stories about Bigfoot and its dark reputation. They talked about people who had disappeared in the forest without a trace, about eyewitness accounts of mysterious and frightening events. It was as if the forest had a dark and long history that no one could explain. During their hike, they suddenly found large footprints in the mud, larger than anything they had seen before. These prints were almost twice the size of a human foot. Jack grabbed his camera and began taking pictures of them. "This is evidence," he said with excitement in his voice. "These are Bigfoot's footprints." Suddenly, the silence of the night was broken by another roar, now closer than before. They realized they were being pursued by Bigfoot. They could feel its presence in the forest around them. The friends realized they had no choice. They had to confront Bigfoot and try to survive the night. With their hearts in their throats and fire in hand, they ventured deeper into the forest, ready to face the unknown. To be continued.